Hello everyone and welcome to this video tutorial where I'm going to be walking you step by step how to create a business website. So if you own a business and you're looking forward to creating a website for your business, either you want to do it for yourself or you just want to learn about how to create a website for businesses so that you can be offering it as a service. So this video is going to walk you through all the things you need to know about creating a business website using WordPress and Elementor. Alright. So to make it easy, I'm going to leave a timestamp in the description of this video so that you can use that to watch any part of the video that you want to go back to, just check one or two things, okay? And the links to every important information that you will need as long as creating a business website is concerned, I'll leave them in the description of this video. So before we get started, if you are new to this channel or you are yet to subscribe to the channel, kindly go ahead and click on that subscribe button to subscribe to the channel. Do make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you are yet to, okay? So with that now, let's go ahead and start creating our business website. So before you can create any website, there are basically two things that you are going to need. Number one, you are going to need hosting, and number two, you are going to need a domain name. So when we talk about a domain name simply means your website name, okay? For example, if you want to access any website, that word that you type into your browser tab is what we refer to as your domain name. For example, facebook.com, google.com, chatgpt.com. So those words that you're putting into your browser tab are what we refer to as your domain name. That's the first thing we are going to need. Another thing we are going to need is hosting. All right. So for example, now let me show you the website we are going to be making reference to. For example, this is the website I'm going to be putting you through how you can get a website like this. Now, if you take a look at this website now, all the text, all the information, all the icons, everything on this website, they are stored somewhere that makes it easy for people to access it on the internet. All right. So where they are being stored is what we refer to as hosting. So those are the two things that you are going to need for you to create your business website. Okay. All right, like I mentioned earlier, that this is a website you are going to be making reference to. Okay, so like you can see now, irrespective of the kind of business website you want to create, because I understand that you might be creating a website for different kind of business. All right, you don't need to worry with the idea or the knowledge and information, okay, you are going to be getting in this video. You can apply it to create just any kind of website that you want to create, as long as it's a business website, even beyond business websites. Okay. So with that being said, now let's go ahead and start creating our website. Like I mentioned, you are needing domain and hosting. And if you want to get your domain and hosting, there's a platform that comes highly recommendable. All right. So you're going to be getting up to 5% discount plus free domain. All right. So to get access to this offer, so just come over to this website, akprosperblog.com/hosting. And then you'll be taken to this page. You can see here Hostinja. This is currently one of the best hosting platforms that you can find on the internet right now. They offer the best and quality hosting service. So if you're here, you see it, and you're getting 75% off hosting plus AI website builder. Okay, so once you are here, if you click on start now, here you'll be taken to the different pricing and the plan. All right, so we have the basic plan, the growth plus AI, and then the scale plus AI. Now, since we are working on e-commerce platform, I will recommend you go with the growth.ai. Now, if you check the difference between the three plans, you see it right here. Now, if you look at this basic plan, remember we are creating e-commerce website. You can see for e-commerce, and then this is checked for e-commerce. Okay, so that means this has more features that we need to actually get us started. All right, and then maybe later on you can decide to go up with this scale plus AI. So since you are just starting out, this is okay. Now you can see you are also going to be getting a free domain for the first year. And remember, like I said earlier, you are going to be needing two things: your domain name and your hosting. So they are providing us with hosting, and then we are also going to be getting a free domain for the first year. And then you can also use this same plan to create up to 50 websites. So maybe once you are done with your first website and you want to create another website, you don't need to come back and purchase another hosting. With the same hosting plan, you can create up to 50 websites. Okay, so you can see these are some other features that comes with it. Basic e-commerce, business email, 5 minutes box per year, daily backup. You get up to 50 gig of storage, and then you get priority support, team collaboration, and the likes. Okay, compared to the basic plan. So what you do once you are here, just go ahead and click on choose plan. So once this page open up, the next thing you're supposed to do is to choose the period. How long do you want to purchase this hosting? Now, if you click here, you are going to have the option of choosing 1 month, 12 months, 24 months, and 48 months plan. Now, remember, you're getting a free domain. So for you to get a free domain, you have to pick anything from the 12 months plan. Okay, that's what is going to give you the free domain. Like you see it here, domain name, you won't be charged for it. You'll be getting a free domain. However, if you are thinking on long term, okay, I'll recommend you go with either the 24 or 48 months plan. That's if you are thinking of, you know, the website on a long-term basis. And also choosing the 24 or 48 months plan will also increase the discounts you're going to be getting. Okay, for example, now for 12 months your total is $59.88, but if you go with 24 months, that's 107.76, and then if you choose to go with the 48 months plan, that's $181.92. Okay, and you're also going to be getting plus 3 months free hosting. Okay, so the higher plan you choose, the more discount you're going to be getting. For example, on the 48-month plan now, you are saving as high as $489. Okay, so just make sure you choose anything from 24 to 48. That's what I'm actually recommending. Okay, so depending on your budget anyway, but those are the two. So once you have chosen any of the plan that you want to go with, okay, then you can come over here and then you click on continue. So on this page now, you're going to be prompted to create an account. So here you put in your email address and your password. So you need to take note of the email address and the password you want to use to create your account with them. Okay, so once you do that, you put in your email address and your password, and then you click on register. Once you've completed the registration process and then you've verified your email, the next page you're going to be coming is where you're going to put in your billing address. So that's your name, your last name, your country, your phone number. You just fill in all of these details. Once you are done with them, you click on the continue, and then you'll be able to make your payment. So there are different payment options that will be available to you depending on your country. Okay, so you can pay with your card. There's option of PayPal, there's option of Google Pay, OPay. I think this is available because of the country, my country. So we also have Alipay and then CoinGate. So whatever country you're actually watching from, you definitely see a payment system that will definitely work for you. So choose whichever one that works best for you, and then you'll be able to check out. Okay, so you can see once you put in your either you want to pay with card and then you submit your payment, then you'll be able to purchase your hosting plan. Once you have completed the payment process of paying for your domain, okay, so once you've completed the billing process, the next thing you're going to be getting access to your hosting dashboard, which is what you are seeing here. So once you're on this page, you see all of these options here: your home, website, domain, horizon, emails, and the likes. So where we are coming is you click on websites. So once you are here, you see this option to add website. So go ahead and click on add website. Now all these options will pop up. We have WordPress, hosting your website builder. So what we want to go with is WordPress. Now you see some of this survey or questionnaire, so you can decide to skip them or answer them. So let's say I'm creating for myself or my business, go to next. So now the next phase now is for you to create an account. Now this information is what you are going to be using to log in into your WordPress website itself. Okay, so here you put in your email. You can see it here, WordPress email, admin email, and then your administrator password. Now one thing I would advise is make sure that whatever password you're using here, you take note of the password. Okay, so by default they'll generate a password for you. Okay, but you can go ahead and create your own password. All right, then make sure your password fulfill all of this information: one number, one symbol, one uppercase letter, one Latin letter, and then between 8 to 50 character. Okay, so one only Latin character. Okay, and then one symbol. So the symbol can be anything, full stop, and all of this symbol sign. So once you fill in all of this information, you click on next. Now you'll be asked to create with a website with AI, pre-built website and theme. So just click on create a blank site. All right. So now the next thing is this. Now they're asking that what domain or subdomain would you like to use? Now there are three options here. You can see number one, it said claim your free domain, buy a new domain, or confirm a domain you already own. Now let me explain the three to you. Now if you've purchased your hosting, so that means you can go ahead and claim your free domain. So what you do is you put in the domain that you want to use. Okay, let's say for example this is the domain you want to use. Maybe you want to use this domain now, so you go ahead and put in the domain. If the domain is available, you see the option here with claim, so you click on claim. All right, so that's the first option. Now the second one says buy a new domain. Now this buy a new domain is when you want to create maybe your second website, okay, maybe you've already claimed your free domain and then you want to create another website, you can go ahead and purchase another domain from them also. They also offer that service. All right. Now the third one is confirm a domain you already own. Now maybe you already have a domain already, which is what I want to do. For example, I already have this domain, gpt.com, and that's what I want to use. So I'll just go ahead and put in the domain so you can see, do you own this domain? Use it. So I'll click on it. So you can see the domain is registered at another provider. You need to verify you own it when you connect it to your site. So that's letting you know if you have a domain on another platform, maybe you have a domain from GoDaddy, from Bluehost, or from other platform, you can also use it. All right. So and that's what I'm doing. So you can see it here. I've put in this domain. I actually have this domain on another platform, Dynadot. Okay. So what I'll just do is then you go ahead and click on install WordPress. So with that now, our WordPress installation is in progress. You can see it here 6%, 7%, 8%. So I'll just pause the video and let it to go to 100, but it takes less than 2-3 minutes. Okay. So guys, if you are finding value in this video, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you are yet to subscribe, please go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Right, so once you install the WordPress, you're going to be directed to a screen that looks like this. So you can see here onboarding. All right, so let me walk you through some of the things that you can see right here on the screen. All right, so starting from here, if you look at the upper right, you're going to see probably your username or your email address. All right, so if you need to change this, you can see there's an option to edit right here. So if you should click on edit, so you can see right here, you can change your admin color scheme. So by default, it is set to this. If you know, I think some people doesn't like this midnight, so you can see the effect right here. But if you want to use the blue, okay, so it all depends on you. But by default, I'm okay with the default. All right. So there are other options here. For language, if you want to change the language mostly at the back end, you can also do that right here. Okay, you can just use the site default language. All right, so this is your username, the one you put in when creating your account. So it's always there, you can see it. Username cannot be changed. But if you want to change this name here, because this is the name that will show up, especially in your blog section, that if you want to have show who made that blog post. Okay, so if you want to change that, you can just put in your first name, last name, or any other name you want to use. Okay, or maybe a nickname, so you can put it here. Then this is where you're going to set display name publicly as. Okay, so maybe I want to display let me just put in my first let me just put a prosper here. So all right, so then I'll now say display as, so that name will definitely show up. I can say this. So this is where you're going to have your admin email address. So if you set this is your admin email address, what you're going to be using to log in also. All right, so if you want to change it, you can also do that right here. So every other thing you want to put in your biographical info, if you want to change your profile picture, if you want to set in a new password. So but anything you do, always remember to update. All right, so that's one of those things here with this. So if I should go back to that screen where we were before, so if I come over here and click on Hostinger, so it will bring us back to this onboarding page. So another thing I want to mention is that once you have been redirected to this page, if you check in your browser tab, you might be seeing some random words. Then you see /admin. You might not be seeing your domain. So basically what happens is that once you install a new WordPress site, sometimes it takes time for it to propagate, okay, so that to create that link between your domain name and your hosting. So before now, you need to wait probably 5 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 24 hours to 48 hours sometimes before you can even access this page, okay. But for you not to wait that much, what they do is they give you access to be able to go ahead with creating your website, so you don't need to wait. All right, so maybe after 30 minutes to 1 hour, you can come back and then just put in your domain name /wp-admin. Okay, just like you can see it here, GBT. So let me take this out. So gbt.com /wp-admin. So you can just put that back into your browser, and then you'll be able to put in your, you might need to log in again. All right, so you just do that, and then you'll be directed back to the back end of your WordPress website. Okay, so it's as simple as that. All right, so away from that, now you can see over here, you see some menus right here. Okay, I'm still going to explain them. First thing another thing I want to do is I'll come over to plugins. Okay, I'm still going to explain what plugins are. So basically, there are some plugins I want to deactivate. All of these Hostinger plugins, I'll just click on them. All right, so come to this bulk action, click on deactivate and apply. Now, basically, plugins are more like apps that add more functionalities to your website. All right, so this is how I like to explain what plugins are. So I've gone ahead to deactivate it right now. So what I'll do now is to delete them. I'll check them again, come to bulk action, then click on delete and click on apply. Okay. Okay. All right. So that has been deleted. Like I was saying, plugins are more like apps. It gives your website more features depending on what you want. Take for example on your phone, if you want to make a call, you need a calling app. If you want to take pictures on your phone, you need a camera app. And sometimes you might even need to download a different app, camera app, different from the default one that came with your phone. That's because you want certain features from that particular camera app. So the same thing applies here. Don't worry, when we start to install some plugins, you really understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so we've taken that out. So now I can go back to our dashboard. You can see the Hostinger option is no longer there. So now we can have a cleaner dashboard. So you can see here, welcome to WordPress, and then you're going to be seeing a whole lot of other things here. All right, so if you don't want to be seeing all this information, you can just come here to screen option and uncheck them. So, and if there's a particular one that you want to be seen right here, you can leave that alone. Okay, so you can see, then you return it back. So basically, maybe if you run an e-commerce website or you want to be seeing your analytics right there, you can just scroll here and then select whichever one you want to be seeing on your dashboard. Okay, but if you want a cleaner dashboard, you can just uncheck all of those. So you can see now we have fewer options at this side of the screen. We are currently on the back end, don't forget. So let me walk you through what some of these things are. So this is the dashboard that we are currently. So this is for posts. So this is as over post, you see we have add post, categories, and tags. So if you want to create a post, basically like a blog post, so this is where you do that. So by default, we have this hello world. All right, so you can go ahead and delete it. But if you want to create your own post, you see this option here. Let me open that in a new tab to add a post. All right, so let that open up. So away from that, we also have the media. So let me open that also in a new tab. So the media is where you are going to be having all your images, your files, maybe like PDF, and if you upload a video into your website, you're going to find them here. But I won't advise you to bring in any video into your website because it can make your website slow and it will take a lot of space on your hosting. So the best thing is to just have the video maybe on YouTube or Vimeo, then you just embed it where you want to use it. All right, so that's the best practice. All right, so that's it on media. So for the post I mentioned, you can see it has opened up. This you're going to put in your post title. You come over here, then you put in the body of your post. All right, so if you want to add images, so you can see it here. If you click on this plus, you can add image. If you want to add an heading, if you want to put in gallery, so if you click on browse all, you can see a whole lot of things that you can put in your blog post. All right, so if you need a button, if you need column, if you need separator, a whole lot of other things. You won't need everything definitely. All right, but basically that is how. So once you are done, you go ahead and click on publish. So basically, I've just shared with you how to create a post. So under this post, this is where you're going to put in your featured image. So let me also mention that. So the featured image, this is where you're going to put it. If you want to publish immediately, you can see it here. If you want to post it on a later date, so you can also select that right here. And then what else is here to show you? So you can also select your category for that particular post that you are creating. If you can add a new category. If you want to add a tag, you can also do that. So once all this thing is done, just go ahead and publish, and then you've been able to create a blog post. All right, so away from that, then the next one is pages. So still going to make use of this. So this is where you're going to create the pages for your website. All right, so all these pages you are seeing, the home, the about, the blog, the theme. So this is where you can create them. If you want to create a page, you just come over here, click on add page. We are still going to come back to this, so I won't waste time on this. Now this is for comments. All right, so if you start receiving comments on your website, especially on your blog post, it will show you right here that the number of comments that you have, and if you want to approve them or you want to delete them or mark them as spam, you can do that here. All right, so next is appearance. Under this appearance, we currently have themes and editor. Okay, so once we install the theme we want to use, we're going to have more options under this, but for now, we only have these themes and editor. So for plugins, I've talked about this. This is user. So if I click on this user now, you can see we have all users and then add users and profile. It's similar to the profile that I clicked here. Now, basically, this is where you can add another user. You can see I'm currently the only user on this website. You can see I'm the administrator, okay, and I have only one post, okay. Now, if you want to add user, so come over here and click on add user. Maybe you want to give access to somebody else to be able to manage your website or to be able to do certain things on your website. So this is where you are going to come over and give and create an account for them, okay. So you put in their username, you put in their email, So these are the two required things. So all these ones are optional, so you can go ahead and put it, and then you can also put in their, then you definitely need to put in their password. Okay, so send a new user an email about the account. All right, so this is where you put in their role. All right, so this is very important. So these are the roles that's currently available for this website. All right, so the roles that are available depends on the kind of website you are creating and the kind of things that you are actually using to, for your website. Okay, but um generally we have this administrator, editor, author, contributor, subscriber. So administrator is the highest role right there. So if you put them on an administrator, they have the same access just like you do. Then if you put in an editor, to restrict them certain things that they can do. Same applies to author and contributor. I think contributor will give them access to be able to add posts, okay, but they can't publish the posts. All right, so whichever role you want to give them. So once you are done, go ahead and click on add user and they'll be able to log in. So once they just need to log in, they'll just need to put in their username and then their password, or maybe their email and password when they want to log in. The login link will still be the same thing, which is going to be, let me show you right here. It will just be your domain name / something like this. Your domain name, maybe like this, gazegpt.com / wp-admin. Okay, all right, so that is it on user. So let me leave this. So the next one we have is tools. These are the options here. Import, if you want to import, export, or you want to check your site health. All right, and erase personal data and all of this. So followed by that, we have settings. So we have the general, writing, discussion, media, and permalinks. All right, so under general, so let me click on general right here. So this is where you can put in your site title. Okay, so basically your site title could be your company name or your business name. Okay, so let's say I'm creating a website for an agency now. Let's say I'm creating it for, so this way I can just put in the site title, that's the name of the agency. I can just, okay, PhD Tech. Okay, and you notice that what happens is that you see it right here. Okay, so you can put it like that, and then you can just, for SEO purpose, you can put it like, okay, websites, agency, Lagos, okay, or something like that. Then this is a tagline. In few words, explain what this site is about, just another WordPress site. So this here you can just put in another keyword, okay, about your website or what you do or your service. Okay, all right, so this is for a site icon. This is where you're going to put in your site icon. Basically your site icon can be your logo. Okay, so they are just a logo that shows up on browser tab. All right, so that's what you can put right there. So again, another thing you might want to do, leave this one. Anyone can register, leave it unchecked. Okay, we are not creating a membership kind of website. All right, so if you want to change any other thing here, maybe like a time zone, your default date format and time format, and then maybe week starts on. Okay, so you can do that. But whatever you do, then go ahead and then save the changes. All right, so every other thing here, in most cases, they look good the way they are. So I'm going to be leaving that just like that. All right. All right, so with that being done, now let me come back to our dashboard. All right, so we're going back to our dashboard. So the next one we'll do is to install our theme. So to do that, I'm going to come over to appearance. I click on appearance. Okay, now the theme basically is what determines the fields of your website, the layout of your website. Now let me show you something now. This is the, before that, let me show you what our website looks like. So if I hover over this, I'm going to see view sites. So I'll right click and open it in a new tab. Right, so this is what our website currently looks like. You can see it right here, our site's name that we put earlier. So you can see it right here. And this is what our website looks like. Now, by default, you are going to see the theme for the last 3 years, courtesy of WordPress themselves. This is currently 2025. So if I should activate that of 2024, so I click on activate right now, and it has moved here. So if I should come over here now and refresh it, you're going to see that it's going to change the field. You can see it has changed the layout and everything. So if I should come back here and then I activate that of 2023, okay, so you see it. Okay, we are currently on 2023 now. If I should activate that, so the 2023 is already activated. So anything you are using will be the first one you're going to see here. Now if I should come back here again, if I should refresh, okay, so you can see it will change again. All right, I can see this font is different, everything is different. So that's just to give you an idea of what theme is. But for this tutorial now, we're going to be using a different theme. So what I'll do is I'll come over here to add theme. So once this open up, you see that there are a lot of things right here. So they are still loading. Okay, I think my internet is kind of like slow. All right. So you can see we currently have about 7,904 themes as at the time of making this video. All right, that you can actually choose from. So you can see right here. Okay, and all of these themes are unique in their own capacity and design. The way this will appear, Astra will appear will be different from the way Cadence will appear. They will also come with some unique feature that will make them different from each other. Right, but for this now we are going to be using a theme called Zakra. So just come here and type in Zakra. All right, so that is the name of the theme you are going to be using. So this is it right here. All right, so you can just go ahead and install it. All right, so there's no need to preview it, so just go ahead and install it. I think my internet is kind of like slow. It's supposed to show an image right here. So I've installed it. Next thing I'll do is to activate it. All right, so you can see now the theme has been installed and activated. Another thing you'll notice is that you can see under appearance now, we have more options. You can see now we have design, customize, widget, menu, header, background, and the likes. Okay, so another thing we want to do is before we click on this get started, now you can see this is the theme that we are using. Now you see these other themes that were there before, or any theme you are not using, just go ahead and delete them. All right, same applies to plugins. If there's any plugin that you won't be using, just go ahead and for plugin you deactivate and delete. For theme, just go ahead and delete them. What this does is that it helps reduce space on your host, all right, and also goes a long way in ensuring that your website is fast. All right, so now let's click on start building with Zakra. So come over here and click on get started. So guys, if you are finding value in this video, please give the video a thumbs up. All right, and if you are yet to subscribe to the channel, kindly go ahead and click on that subscribe button to subscribe to the channel. All right, so this is the next screen that you are going to be seeing. You can see select a template you like. So what we want to do now is to create our website using some ready-made templates. Okay, so in doing that, you are going to choose a builder. For this, you are going to be choosing Elementor Page Builder. Basically, page builders are what you're going to be using to create all the layout and the design of the pages of your website. Okay, so we have Gutenberg, we have Elementor, we have Pixie. Okay, we also have other type like page layer, PV builder, and the likes. All right, so what we want to use is a free one. So just go ahead and click on free so that it can sort it out for us. But we want to be using the free templates. Okay, so you can see right here are free templates that you can make use of to create your website. Now remember I mentioned earlier that irrespective of the kind of website or the kind of business website that you are creating, there's a template or demo that you can actually work with. Okay, I showed you earlier that this is the website I'm going to be walking you through. Okay, so this might not fit the kind of business that you want to create a website for. For example, this is looking like a marketing business kind of website. Okay, maybe if yours is not for marketing, okay, but you can see from all of these templates that you can choose from. Okay, you can see this is for dental service, this is for learning, this is for flavor fuels, this has to do with food and restaurants, this is for job portal, this is agency. Okay, so you can see this is for lawyer. So that means you're going to create a website for a law firm. There's a demo template that you can make use of. Okay, another thing I also need to mention is if you like the demo, you can also import it and just change the information. I'm going to walk you through that. Okay, all right, so with that being said, now for this for the purpose of this tutorial, the one I'm going to be using is, let's go ahead and make use of this Zakra agency. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and click on it. So once it's open up, just go ahead and click on continue. So there's an option to change logo here, but this is not where we are going to be doing it. I'll show you where you can do that separately. So just go ahead and click on continue. Click on start import. Okay, so here to show you ready to import, so just click on start import. All right, so what this will do is I go ahead and import this entire website for us. All right, and then from there we can modify it to fit the kind of website I want to create, and then with our own information. Okay, so importing this will take time, probably in less than 2 to 5 minutes. Okay, it will be done. All right, so I'll just go ahead and pause the video and then continue. So you can see, congratulations, import complete. Your site is now live and you're selected with your selected template. So you can go ahead and view our site. Okay, so that will open up in a new tab, and then we can also go back to the dashboard. So if for any reason while importing yours you see fail, just click on this try again button and then you'll be fine. Right, so now that we've imported it, now you can see we now have more options. You can see we have WooCommerce, we have products, okay, we have marketing, and a whole lot of other options right there. Okay, so let's see what the website currently looks like. So you can see this is our website right here. Okay, so what we are going to do next is to edit the information on the website to suit the kind of business website that we actually want, or the kind of service that we create. Okay, so you can see there's a pricing section. We have this our meet our team section, and if there's any section that you don't want, you can just take them away. Then we have this client review. Okay, so and then we also have this part that has a video. Okay, and this counter, they call it counter, so you can see the number was counting earlier. And then we have the blog post, this section, and then the footer. All right, so the reason why I want to show you how you can modify the information here is, definitely this might not be your kind of information that you want. Okay, you can see think different, make different. This is some dummy text here. How do you go ahead to put in your own text? And let me also mention, if you also need content for your website, you can make use of ChatGPT. You can just go on ChatGPT and put in a prompt like, okay, creating a website for my business or for my agency. We are into website design. We are located here. This is our contact address. We offer so services. You can just put 1 or 2 services. So I need you to generate a comprehensive website content for me. All right, so ChatGPT will do the work for you to provide you content, and the content they provide will also help you to know where to put it. Okay, so they'll create content for, just make sure you also list out some of the pages that you want content for. You can say, okay, so I need the content for the home page, about us, the services, frequently asked questions, depending on the kind of website that you want to create. Okay, so if you also want to have idea on the kind of website I should create for your business, just go ahead and check other competitors websites. Okay, so that will give you an idea of the pages that you should create, the kind of contents that you should have. Okay, so with that being said, so this is our front end of the website right now. So I'm back to the dashboard right there. So for you to edit this information, so this is the home page. Let me also open up the about us page. This has a shop page. If you don't need it, I'll show you how to take that out. And this is the contact us page. There's this button right here. You can use this for a call to action button, because you can see it's having a separate background, making it look different from these other ones. All right, so this is the about us page. So this is what it looks like. Okay, and then this is the contact page. All right, so this is the contact page. Okay, so you can see the website is looking professional enough. It's looking clean. So let me walk you using this home page as an example. Let me show you how you can modify the information. All right, now if you are logged into your website, you are going to be seeing this top section right here. So that's because you are logged in. Okay, if you open it in a separate browser where you are not logged in, you are not going to see this right here. So if you want to edit your website, so once you are here on the page itself, you see this option to edit with Elementor. So go ahead and click on it. So while that is opening up, you can also come to the back end. You click on pages. So from the pages now, you can see we are currently on pages side. All right, you can see these are all the pages that was created for us. Remember, we imported a template. Okay, so some of these pages have been created already. And then you see that the one that was created with Elementor, you see them Elementor here. This is contact us page, it's created with Elementor. This is the home page, and our home page, which is our front page. You see it here, front page. Okay, all right. So for you to also edit it, apart from the other one I showed you earlier, you can see once you hover over it, you see this edit with Elementor here. So once you click it, you can also do the same thing. All right. So the same thing applies to the home page, the about us page, the contact us page. If you want to modify them, it's still the same process. All right. So if you open it up, it's going to look like this. You're going to see something like this. You're going to see your website. All right, you can see the website right here, and you're going to see the side panel. I'm going to walk you through everything briefly. So you can see it's showing us some things here because we're opening it for the first time. So right here, you see looking for a launchpad. So got this. Okay. So this right here is called the structure. Basically what it does is it shows you the different sections available in the website. All right. So if you look at it now, this section right here is what we have. It's around this pink, within this pink rectangular box. Okay, under the next section is the services, which is let's see, which is this one right here. Okay, the next one is everything here. So that's what this thing does. It makes it easy for you to navigate different sections, and then you can just click on this arrow to see what is inside all of those sections. Right, so basically you find it handy when you are working on a website that is that have maybe more complicated kind of design, or you want to just know what is within each of those columns, right? So for example, this column right here, we have another column. Under the column we have image, so you can see it right here. So if you can move this around, and then you can move it to the right, okay, to create another panel for itself, but I like it to be floating around. Okay, so if you don't want it, you can just delete it, but if you need it back, look at it here. right? So right here is to preview. So if you're working on your website and you want to see what it looks like, so just click the preview. It will open up a new tab. Another one here that is also important is this desktop, tablet, and then mobile portrait. So what it does is that as you are working on your website in desktop mode, if you want to see what it looks like in tablet, so you just click on the tablet to see what your website looks like in tablet. Okay, so you can see it right here. If you want to see what it looks like in mobile view, so this is the mobile view for this website. So you can see it here. Now, the idea behind this is sometimes you might be working on your website in desktop mode. And then for this now, the size looks okay, it looks clean. And you might just switch to mobile view and you see that it's not looking good. Maybe the text is too big or the image is too big and the like. Okay, so you can adjust them. So any changes you do on the mobile section, it won't affect the desktop. Okay, but if you change the text on mobile, text will change on desktop. So that's the mistake some people make. You know, they can want to use, maybe this place they use think different, make different. Some might maybe want to change it to something else on mobile. You can't really achieve that. Okay, so what you can just do is the size, and you can see that right here that if I switch to mobile now, you will notice that the layout, there's this mobile icon that is showing up here. If I switch to tablets, you see that there's a tablet icon letting me know that whatever changes I'm doing here, it will only be for the tablet or maybe for the desktop. Now I'm on desktop, it's showing me that I'm on desktop. Okay, so I hope that is already noted. So another thing that I also want to mention is right there, this is for history. So if I click on it, if you make any changes, okay, or you want to go back to some effect that you have done, okay, so you can use this history to go back there. All right, so this is for page setting. If you want to do some page setting for the page itself, for the home page itself, so you can see it is currently published. If you want to add a featured image, you want to allow comments for this page. I don't want comments, so I can just disable that. Right, so whatever changes, you always remember to publish, so you can see. So once you make any change here, you see this publish button will become clickable. Right, so I've clicked it now until I make another change, then before this will become clickable. Right, so away from that, if you also over this, you are going to see site setting, theme builder, right, that you can also, if you want to do some site settings right here, so let me click on that. So you can see under all right, so this is for page settings. So if I should come here now and I click on site settings, so there are some options that are available there. So this is where you can put in your global colors. So this is where you can select all the colors that you want to use for your website. All right, so you can also do that here. While you are working on the website, you can also save your colors. All right, so this ensures consistency in your color code and the kind of color that you are using. Okay, so that's for, okay, let me discard. This is for color. Okay, so the same thing for fonts. This is for fonts. This is where you can set all the fonts that you want to be using. This is for maybe for the primary headline, the secondary, the body text, the accent. You know, you can set the kind of size and the particular fonts that you want to use, just to also ensure consistency. All right, so let me leave this discard. So make sure you also save any changes, all right, that you make. Then the same thing applies to typography, button, image, and form field. All right, so anyone that you need to change is self-explanatory, so you can do that right here. All right, so away from site settings, let me close this. All right, so now you can see all this that we're having here, they are called widgets. I can call them widgets, I can call them elements. I use them interchangeably. Now, all these things you are seeing on your website right here. So if I should click here, all right, so this was created using an heading, and then you pick them. So if I click on this plus now, to show up again. All right, so this heading that we saw here, this is it right here. This was the element that was used to create it. So if you need heading, you need image, text editor, this is where you are going to find them. All right, so once you are creating your website, you might not need to use everything, okay, but you have a whole lot that you can actually work with here. And we are not even using the pro, but even with the free elemental version, there are a lot of things that you get access to that you can use to create your website. Okay, so if for any of this now, for example, as I click here now, it's showing me heading, so that means this was created using heading. If I should click on this now, this was just created using text editor. All right, and this text editor, if I come here and click on the plus, this is it, the text editor. This was done using button. So if I should click on it now, you can see edit button. So this is how you know which of these widgets was used to create any of this section. All right, so you can see edit button, and most of them, they always have this three section: content, style, and advanced. So if I should click on edit, you can see content, style, and advanced. Some might be two, some might be three. For example, this was done using image. So you can see, as I click on it, you can see edit image. So that means this particular widget or element is a is an image that was used here, content, style, and advanced. Okay, so and under each of them, let me come back to this one now. So this heading, so under this now we have content. This is where you're going to put in your text. So if you want the text to link to a particular link, so you can paste the link here such that once you click on it, it takes you to a particular page. All right, so this is where you're going to put in that link. But if you don't want it to link to anything, just leave it blank. So this is style. So for heading now, this is where you can set the alignment if you want it to be center align, so you can see. And you can see as I set it to center align now, this publish button became clickable because I've just made a change now. So if I publish it, that means I want to save it. Okay, so let me just click it back so it can be set to default. This is where you set up your typography. So if I should click on this pencil icon, there are a lot of options under typography. So this is where I can select you can see the fonts. I mean, the family is set to default. That's because under the site setting I showed you earlier, they've already set up the fonts that they want. So that's why it's already set to default. All right. But if I want a separate font, I click on it and then I can choose from a list of fonts that are available. So you can see here, right here. This is where I can select the size if I want it, right. So let me set it back to the default size, which is 54. So this is where you can select the weight. How you can see it's set to bold. If I set it to 600, I set it to 300 light, so you can see it here. So there are a whole lot of options here, but one thing you also need to take note that you might not need to touch everything. So this is for transform. You want to transform it maybe to uppercase, so you can see it here. But let's set it to default. All right. If you want to do line height or letter spacing, if you're familiar with using Word processor, maybe Microsoft Word or WPS, you understand what we are saying here. Under text stroke, so if you click on text stroke, if you want to add some text stroke, okay, so you can see if you want to give your text stroke a color, so you want to click here, you'll be able to pick any color for your text stroke. Okay, and this color, maybe you have used this color and you want to keep using it again, the best thing for you is to just click on this plus so that you can save the color. So you just give it a name, you can maybe red, so that you can always use it again, instead of maybe when you need red again, you click here and then you start to look for that particular red, or you keep typing the color number. It's not advisable like that. All right, so I'm not using text stroke. I'll just click on this back to default. If you also want to add text shadow, just click on it so you can see text shadow. So I don't want it. So this is for text color. Okay, we change it to black. So if you have saved any color and you want to pick from your saved color, just click on this globe, so you see a list of colors that you have saved here. Right, then you can pick them. You can see it is much more easier that way, and it ensures consistency in your colors. All right, so away from this, now under style, so remember, content is where you're going to put in the text and everything. Under style is where you're going to format it. Under advanced, there are a lot of options there. All right, you might not need to touch everything, but if you are practicing, I'll advise, if you are doing it for tutorial purpose, okay, there are sometimes when you are creating a website, that yes, I want to create a website, and there are sometimes, if as a beginner, especially if you're a beginner, you are not familiar with WordPress, you might just want to play around with certain things. But another thing again is whatever you touch, okay, or whatever options that you pick or whatever settings that you make, always make sure that you are sure about what you click on, okay, and you see the changes immediately. Okay, so if you click on anything or you select anything and you didn't see any change, I will advise you to return it back to default. All right, so under advanced, we have this option of layout, motion effect, transform, background, and all of this. So now let me, we are currently on edit now, so all this that you are doing applies to this particular text here that we are working with. But whichever one you choose, is still available there. So for example, now under layouts, now we have what we call margin and padding. So basically, margin, you can see that this particular heading that we are editing, so you see it here, edit heading, it's inside this pink box. Okay, so if I should click on margin now, let's say I want to add a margin of 50 at the top, so you'll see that it has created a space at the top. Okay, so let me remove it back. You see it went back to the top. That's for margin. It will create that space outside the pink box. Okay, but for padding, if I should give it a padding of 50 at the top, you see that the space is within this pink box, but it's at the top of it. All right, so that's the difference between the padding and the margin. All right, in simple terms, and this place is to link them together. Let's say I want to give it so let me do it for padding now. Maybe I want to give it a padding of 20. So remember, I've linked it. So what will happen is that the 20 will be for both for the top, the bottom, the right and left. So you can see it right here. So you can see that within the box, this pink box, you are seeing space. That's because I've linked it. Okay. All right, so let me just, so away from that tool, we have all of these options right here. If you want to do alignment, again, you might not need to touch everything. Okay. You might not need to. So then for motion effects, if you want to give it some motion effects, for example, entrance animation, maybe you want it to fade in, you must have seen all of these effects in some websites. This is how they do it. Okay, so you can see it here. If you don't want them, you can just put it to none. Okay, so these are some other that is not available to us. And then for transform, okay, there are other options here. You want to flip it, so you can see it right here. Okay, so and then if you want to make the effect, maybe when you over it, and when you bring your cursor over that text, maybe that's when you want it to flip, so you see it. Right, so a lot of things that you can actually do here, but again, don't get carried away with some of these effects. Okay, if the effect is too much on your website can look it will look professional. Let me use that word. So this is for background. If you want to add background to maybe this particular part now, so we can choose gradient and then you can choose classic. So maybe you want to pick a particular color for the background, so you can see it here. So all of these are what you can, I don't want it, so I can just click on it and click on clear. All right, so I've just explained briefly all of these things. So you can also, the same thing applies to every other section and every other place. Okay, so now what I want to do now is let me show you how to create a section. Let's say for this example now, this particular section right here. Okay, I want to show you how to recreate this. Okay, doing that will also give you an idea on how to make use of Elementor, especially if you are a beginner. All right, so for me to do that now, so you see this place where we have this plus, so I can click on this plus, I click on this plus, all right, and I click on Flexbox. Now you'll notice that this particular one was done using two sections here. There's a section here, there's another section here. All right, then one thing I'll also advise first of all do is, once you open it up, check out what they use to create it. This first section I want to create now, there's a container. This is it. And under that container, we have a 2 column. Okay. And this is the second column. All right. So for us to achieve that, what I'll do is I press this plus. All right. So you come here, you select the flex box. Now for this, I'm going to be using this 2 column. All right. So I select this 2 column. All right. So you can see it here. So by virtue of this, so you can see right here, you can have the full width is set to this by default. Now for the minimum height, it's talking about how the height for this, so I should increase it now. So you can see it now. So let me just do it like this. We are still going to adjust it appropriately. All right. So with this now, I already have my 2 column. If I want to, maybe different, make one bigger than the other, I can adjust it appropriately depending on what I want to achieve. Okay. So now I want to bring in this text right here. Okay, let me bring in this guy. Right. So I want to bring in this text right here. This thing different and make different. So what I'll do is I'll click on this plus, add elements. So what I want to bring in is heading. So I'll click on it and I'll drag it. So that's how you bring in different elements. Okay. So you select it and then you drag it in. So I can put in the text right here, which is think different. Think different, BIWFER, think different, and then make difference. All right. So now for this, now if you want this make different to come on a new line, so like you can see here, all right. So if I should send this, make it big, okay. So probably because of the size. So let me increase the size. So I'll come over to style, come over to typography. Okay, so you can see that the font is the same thing, so there's no need to change. So I just need to increase the size. Okay, I think it was 54. All right. So you can see that sorts that out. So there's another thing I want to show you is if you want to have a text to go to a new line, depending on what you're working in, I didn't put that full stop here. Okay, so let me put this full stop. Let's say, for example, I want this difference to start on a new line. So what I'll do is I'll put in this short code that's less than BR and then greater than. So you can see to send this to a new line. All right, so you might need this, but it can come handy if you are working on something. So you can see we've been able to achieve this. Now next is this text that we are having here, which is a dummy text, and it was done using text editor. So let me just copy this text. Okay, so for me to achieve that, I'll just click on this plus. This is it here, text editor. Click on it, drag it, and then set it here. Okay, so you can see it here. Right, so it already has its dummy text. Then it also comes with some styling option too. I come to style, I can set the alignment. You understand? I can set the typography, maybe the size, the weight, and the likes. Okay, and then maybe if I want to do paragraph spacing. Okay, so I just clear this back. Right, so if you want to do text color, this way you can change the color. It's currently set to this. Maybe I want to have it to be blue, so you can see it here. You want to do link color, so maybe it's linking to somewhere. You want to, for example, if there's a link in this text and you want to create a separate color, you can do that. Right, so for this button now, this was done using button, so you can see edit button. So what I'll do is I'll click on plus, search for button. Okay, this is button here. I'll drag it and bring it underneath here. All right, so you can see this is the button. How do we take this button from this to this? Let me show you. So this way you're going to enter the link to for this particular button. Where do you want it to link to? All right, so maybe I want it to link to contact page. So if your page is already created, so just type in contact. You can see it here. To show contact, you select it, the link will appear. The text that you want to appear, you can see show, click here. Maybe I want it to show get in touch. So that will get in touch, right? So you can also do that. And then you format appropriately. Now, how do we format it? You can come to here, right? So unlike this one, I can see that both the over color and then the normal color is, as I'm hovering over is, but if I hover here now, you can see that the color is changing, right? So this is where you can set up that under normal, the text color is set to white, the background color. Okay, so this is where we set in the background color for it. Okay, we want 2 shades of green. This is one green, this is another green. Let me select a lighter shade of green so you can see it now, right? And then the angle, how close do you want it to be? Okay, then so this is the angle. You notice that this side is deeper and this side is lighter. All right, this is where I set the angle. Okay, so that is done already. Now if I over it, it's changing, the color is changing. So I'll come to over. I don't want the color to change. I want to maintain white. So I'll come to text color white. So you can see it here. Just the same thing that is happening here. And also, as I'm hovering over here, this one now, you can see that it's growing, it becomes big. So for me to achieve that, I'm still on over. That's for this one. So you can see over animation, I will select group. So you can see it here. All right. So there are other things that you can also do if you want to put in, you want to add, okay, for border radius, now you see that this one is having some curve. So this is where you can put in that border radius. Okay, so let me just use 5 to add that curve so you can see it here. If you want to add some padding, right, so this padding will make it big. You can use it to make it big. Now for the typography, I should come to typography so I can increase the size so you can see get in touch, the weight, maybe 400, and then you can use the fonts that they use here. Let me see. I think let me see the fonts that they use here. So for typography, they use Railway, so you can also come here and use your preferred kind of font. Okay, so basically that is how you can achieve that. Don't forget to always publish, so you can see it here. So with that, we've been able to recreate this. Okay, even though I didn't use the same color, but at least you get the concept. All right, so for this now, what we have here is an image. All right, so if you click on it, you see that is an image. So what we'll do is, for us to bring that image here, I'll click on this plus, then I'll drag this image element here, then I'll click here to come and look for that image. All right, so remember we imported a template, so all the images are there. So this is the image. I'll just select it. But if you want to bring in image from your computer, so you can see upload image, select files, and then you'll be able to do that. Or you can drag an image here. So another tip for you is, before you import any image, make sure you rename that image to fit what that image is meant for. All right, so let me show you something real quick. I should go to my download while that is opening. So we've selected the image. I'll just go over here to click on select. All right, and you can see this is the so this is the image right here. Okay, so there's something that you also notice is this is more to the top and this is more to the center. So how do you make this thing to be at the center, horizontally? So for you to do that, so you can select, come over here and select here. You can see justify, so you can say it to the center, right? So it's already to the center that way. Now if you want to put in the background, you notice that this background is having some kind of hash, usually hash or gray. So you just select the entire container, come over to style. So you can see background right here. So you select classic. So you can pick from this color. If you have the color saved already, you can select it from here. So let's say I want to pick the color. All right, so you can see, I think that's fine. Right, so you can see now that is how we've been able to add a background color to what we have here. You see that this is not the equal size, so you can also adjust it. So let's see, maybe I'm gonna move this to the right a bit. All right, so don't forget to always publish. So you can see that is just how to work with Elementor Page Builder. The more you work with the Page Builder, especially if you're a beginner, the more you get familiar with some of the options that are available. Apart from this background, now there's background overlay, there's border, there's shape divider. Now this shape divider is, let me click on, let's say at the bottom now, I want to add some effects at the bottom. Let's say I want to use this. So you can see this effects now. You must have come across this in some websites. So this is how they achieve it. So let me pick another common one. This is another common one. So you have seen something like this on some websites. Okay. So this is how they achieve it. If you don't want it, you can just can also take it out. I just decided to show you. Okay. So the same thing we did here, you can go ahead and do it for every other section. If you don't want any section at all, you can go ahead and just, you can see it here, delete section. Okay. This is a portfolio section. Let's see what was used here. Basic gallery was what they used to create this. All right, this is for the pricing, plan and pricing. If this doesn't apply to you, you can just go ahead and delete it. Okay, so basically that's just a run through on how to make use of Elementor. This was used, counter was what was used here. Okay, so once you drag in counter, you'll be able to fill in all of this. Now, for example, now this particular container now that was used, you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that means they use 4. If I click on this plus and then plus, that means they use this particular one, right, to create this, because you can see we have 4 columns. Okay, so everything depends on what you want to achieve. All right, so that is how you can edit all the all the pages for this. For example, have any question, you can put some text here, you can put in a button here. All right, it all depends on you. So don't forget to always publish any changes that you make. Right, so that is it on how to edit the pages of the website. Back to the to our dashboard. So the next one to look at is how to create a page. All right, so remember on our website we already have some pages that has been created for us. Okay, so let me come over to pages. So this is pages. Now what if you want to create a page that's not there before? Maybe you want to add a new page. Maybe for example you want to create your FAQ page, for example. Like you can see we don't have FAQ page. So what you do is you come here to click on add page. So this will open up. This is where I'm going to put in the title of the page. So let's say we want to create the FAQ, like I said. So create the FAQ. All right. So what you do next is under this template, you can see we have this default templates. All right. So depending on the theme that you are working with, especially if you want to start working with other themes as you progress into WordPress. Okay. So it's currently set to default templates. So you can still leave it like that and just go ahead and so don't forget this is under default template. Go ahead and publish. So you can click on publish. So you can see page published. So let's go ahead and view the page and see if it's the kind of page that we want. All right. So you can see the page has been published. Now you can see this is having a sidebar, but we don't want a sidebar, just in case you don't want a sidebar. So let's come back. Then you can now select from this default, click here and then you select Elementor full width. Now for this Elementor canvas is when you want to create a page that won't have header or footer. Most likely a landing page. That's when you use this Elementor canvas. So but this now you can switch between page builder, theme, and full width. In most cases also it will be full width. The reason I'm saying this, I'm not giving you one in particular, is that in case you are working with a different theme, all of these options will be different. Okay, these options can be different. Some might have this Elementor full width and some other options. Okay, so if you set it to Elementor full width again and then you go ahead and save, all right, and then let me come back and refresh this. I hope that has saved. Okay, let's see, maybe to give us kind of page, because I don't want any sidebar. All right, so you can see now it's giving us kind of page that we want. So you want to create your page, so just Elementor full width is fine. All right. So the reason why you're not seeing anything in between is because we've not added any section. All right. So it's just showing us this header section and then the footer. So you come back here, then you click with edit with Elementor. So it will open up that Elementor page which I showed you earlier. All right. And then with that, you can start bringing in the different elements that you want to bring and start creating your sections. All right. So you can see it right here. So you can then start to create and bring in whatever you want to bring in, your title, your sections, and the like. So basically, that is how you can go ahead and create your pages for your website. Also, maybe if you want to duplicate a page, for example, maybe this About Us page, let me show you what the About Us page looks like. You can also duplicate it instead of starting from scratch. All right. So what you do is, for example, this About Us page, maybe you want to maintain these same sections, maybe you just change the information. All right. So what you do is you can install a plugin called Duplicate Page. All right. And then with that, you see an option to duplicate out of this option. So if you're able to duplicate the page, you just edit it and then you'll be fine. All right. So that's just by the way. So that's how to create page. All right. So let me come back to our dashboard. So another thing I want to share with you in the customization option. All right. Before we go there, if you come to appearance, all right, let's look at the menu also. So let me open up this menu, come to appearance, and then you come to menus. So let me open that in a new tab. All right. Now, if you see what we are having on our website, these are menus. All right, the home, the about, the shop. What after creating a page, how do you bring in that page to show up on your menu? You scroll down also, we also have some of this home, blog, about. You can see now, how do you go ahead to do that? So I've opened up the menu page. All right, so this is what it looks like now. We have the home, about, shop, blog, and contact us. All right, and then we have this main menu and quick links. Now this main menu is one that is working for this main menu, and then the quick links is one that is working for this. Now the reason why you might want to have different menu, as you can see, you can also create a new menu, is because sometimes you might have a different set of pages for each menu. All right, so that's why you have main menu, quick links. You can have different menu depending on how your website is being designed or customized. All right, so it all depends on you. So but whichever way that you want to do it, so once you have created it like this, you can see this FAQ we just created. So you can just select it and then you click on add to menu. All right, so it will show up here, and then you can also rearrange how you want them to appear. Okay, so it depends on you. If you are not sure how best to arrange your menu, you can check other website or your competitor's website and see how they arrange their menu. So that will give you an idea on how best you can arrange your menu. If you want to create a sub menu, you just drag it like this. So you can see that means this FAQ will be a sub menu on that blog. All right, so you can see if you want to add a page, so you just select the page and then you click on add to menu. If you want to use a post, all right, maybe a blog post, you can select it, you just select and click on add to menu. If you want to, you can also use a custom link. So you can also use a custom link. You just put in the link where you want to link, what text do you want to show, so you put it there and then you'll be able to add to menu. After that, then just go ahead and save, and with that you've been able to create your menu. Okay, so you can see we already have our FAQ. So if I come back to our website, for example, now, and then I refresh this, so let's see if our FAQ page will show up. So you can see it here. Our FAQ page has shown up. But if you don't want it here, also you can just rearrange it from here. Okay, so you can just rearrange it right here and then save. Okay, so that is it on menu. So the next thing we want to talk about is customize. Okay, so there's a customization option. Once you come to appearance, you see this option to customize. Okay, so this works for the entire website, and I'm going to walk you through how to make use of that. All right, so it has opened up right now, and then you are in the customize section. Now you see what you are seeing here just look like what we were seeing when we were on Elementor Page Builder. So you see your website on the side, and then to the left, you are going to see all of these options. So we are going to go through them one after the other. So under global, this is where you're going to set up your typography. All right, you set in your fonts that you're going to use for the heading, for the H1, H2 tag. So you can see it's going to set to low ramp, which is the same with what we have on Elementor. So that's why when I brought in that element, okay, that the font was the same thing, all right, because everything has been set up already. Also for colors, so if you want to select your color palette, so you can see it here, your primary color, your base color, your border color, Your link color is set to this. The normal color is this, and then the over color is this deep green. And then that is what we are seeing here. If we over some of these links that we are seeing here. All right. So away from colors, also for your layout, this is where you can select your layout. Our website is currently set to normal, and if you want it to be narrow, okay, so that means there'll be more space on either end of the website. You can select this. So again, it's like I do say, if you are making any of these changes, if you are not seeing the changes on your website, I would advise you just return it to what it was. Okay, so if you want to do your sidebar, maybe you want your sidebar to be at the right, you can see it's already been set. Now all this option has been set for you. You might not need to change anything, but I'm only going through it just in case you just need to. All right, so for button, so we have a button here. You can see the background color is this light green, and if I should over it, it's showing the deep color. So this is where that was set, and then the typography and everything. All right, so let me come back. Away from global, we have the header. All right, so this is where you can customize your header, like the header we are seeing right here. Right, I'll show you where you can put in your site logo. But you can see we have the primary menu, we have this button. Okay, so this button right here. Right, so this is it right here. If you want to change anything with it, you can also do that from here. So for that button one, this is it right there. So this is where you can change. If you want to change it away from download, you can change it to something else. Okay, and then you can put the link that you want it to link to. Okay, and you can see the color here, right? And then let me see, for the primary menu, so this is where you can select how you want your menu to appear. All right, and every other effects, the color, you can see the normal color, the over color, and then the active color. So all of these options are available right here under the header. All right, so away from header, the post content is talking about the blog. So if I should open up the blog page, so these are all the settings that are available within the blog page. How do you want your single post to appear? So if I should open up this now, so how do you want it to appear? Do you want it to be narrow? Do you want it to be full width? You can say right sidebar. So the right sidebar is at the right. If you want it to be at the left, if I select left, for example, you can see to move to the left. So all the options are self customizable. It depends on what you want to achieve. So also the post element, you want a featured image, the title, followed by the content. And that is what we are having right here: featured image, the title, and the content. Okay. And then you can also rearrange them, so you can drag them the way you want them to appear. All right, so away from that, you can also do that of the page and that of the blog itself. Okay, so the blog itself is talking about the blog page itself. How do you want it to appear and the likes? Okay, so let me come back. Away from post content, we have the footer. So the footer of our website is this, where we have our logo, we have this text, and we have this other section. So if I should come, so let me close this. So if I should come to widget one, I'm still going to show you where you can change that. Okay, so we have widget 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we have the copyright. So the copyright is this that we are having below. If you want to change this now, so it's under the copyright section. So you can see here, you can just change this. Maybe you want to put it copyright site. Instead of this powered by theme link, you can say, okay, website is designed by the name of your agency. Then you can put in your contact. So you can see it here. So if you want to remove this right here. So that is how you can change the copyright text. Now for this widget 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll show you where you can adjust that. Or if you just press this, so I'll show you where you can adjust that anyway. So let's still leave that away from there. So if you want to bring a new thing, you can bring it in from here. All right, so let me come back here. So for additional, so let's see, optimization is currently disabled. Scroll to top is enabled, which is this that you are seeing here. You can see this scroll to top. That's what it's meant for. You can set the colors. Then breadcrumb, okay, is enabled. Okay, I've just left the blog page. All right, so for widgets, okay, so we don't have much to do here. That's not the widget I'm talking about. Now for site identity, so this is where you are going to put in your logo. All right, if you want to put in your site, you can see it here, your site title and tagline. You put it here, your site logo. This is where you put in your logo. Okay, and then if your logo is too big, you can use this to adjust the height of your logo. All right, so you can see I could use it like that. Okay, so for your site title, it's currently set to disabled. If I should enable it, you can see it to show up like this. So, but you can also use it if you don't have a logo. So if you want to use your site title in place of your logo, you can do that, but I want to disable it right here. So you can do that right there, right here. So let me come back away from that section. All right, so that was under under site identity. Okay, so let me come back. So for WooCommerce, we won't be using WooCommerce because we are not enabling that. All right, header media, if we didn't use that, but if you want to use it, that's where to do that. Then for menu, so this is where you're going to set where your menu for your main menu and then your quick links. So you can see this is another option where you can set up your menu. But remember, I've showed you under this part, appearance and then appearance and menu. All right, so you can just move away from this, and then away from that now, widgets. So this is not the widget side that I want to show you, so let's still leave here. Then home page setting, this has been done already. Our home page is set to home, our post page is set to blog. So that means if you create a blog, to show up on your blog page, your home page. Then you see this, you can see your static home page display talks about where you want people to be directed to when they type your website's name in a browser. So it's taking them to a static page, and that static page is the home page. All right, and don't forget to always publish. Then we have additional CSS. Okay, so there was no CSS used here. If you're familiar with CSS custom style sheet and you want to put in some code, this is where to do that. And don't forget to publish any changes that you make. All right, so these are the options that are available under customize. Now I said I'm going to show you for widgets. So for widgets now, you come back to your dashboard and then you come over to appearance and then you click on widgets. Okay, so guys, if you are finding value in this video, please give the video a thumbs up. All right, and if you are yet to subscribe, please go ahead right now and subscribe to the channel. All right, so the widget side has opened up already, and then this is where you can change the footer one. For example, you can see the footer one, this is the logo. So if you want to change it or you want to replace the image, you can do that right there. You can see, and if you want the image to link to any particular thing, especially it will definitely be the home page, you can do that. So this is where you're going to change the text. Let me show you. Let me go back to the footer. So this text you are seeing here, this is it right here. You can change it right here. For the footer 2 is talking about the second column, quick links. So this is where you put in the quick links. All right, you can see it's your quick links. And then for footer 3, so let me bring in. So for footer 3 now, so you can see latest post. All right, so you can see this plus icon here is where you can select what you want to put in the footer. All right, so you can see it here. You can browse all the a lot of things that you can choose from. So, and then for the sidebar, you'll notice that we also had sidebar. All the things that you can find on the sidebar. Let me open up the blog again. Okay, so you can see all the sidebar. Also, if you want to rearrange the information that can show on your sidebar, it's also from this widget that you can also do that. Okay, you can see it's the right sidebar. We have the search, we have recent posts and the likes. If you look at it here, recent post. So this is where you can also set what you want to be on your right sidebar. So if you don't want this, for example, you can click here and then you delete it. Okay, then if you want something new, you can click on this plus. Maybe you want to add an image in your right sidebar. You know, if you just browse all, you see a lot of things that you can put at your right sidebar depending on what you want to create or you want to achieve. Okay, so for media, for design, for widgets, you know, if you want to put social icon on your right sidebar, you can do that. You want to put tag cloud, navigation menu, and a whole lot of other things. So don't forget, anything that you do here also, there's an option here for you to update them. Okay, so with that being said, so let me come back to our website today. So with that being said, now I've walked you through the process of creating your business website. All right, so irrespective of the website you want to create, I've walked you through the process. If you don't want to use this particular template that I've showed that we use, you know, I've showed you can choose from all the free template that is available to you to create your own website. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you find value in this video. I hope you find this video very helpful. If you do, please give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget, I'll leave a link to the hosting in the description of this video so that you can take advantage of the 75% discount and the free domain that you're going to be getting courtesy of the hosting that I'm recommending to you. So guys, thank you very much once again for watching. My name is Prosper, and with that, I'll see you all in another video. Bye for now.